Hey guys, Brad Gilmore here. Want to give a big shout out to our title sponsor, Walker Texas Lawyer. If you or a loved one have been injured in an accident, whether that be a car, truck, motorcycle accident, or some kind of other issue, hit up Walker Texas Lawyer at 713-552-1117 or walkertexaslawyer.com.
Oh, Brad, what have you done now?
Broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. TV host, best-selling author, and radio personality Brad Gilmore brings you a collection of conversations with stars from movies.
Matthew McConaughey.
Brad Gilmore.
Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, how are you?
The legendary Mr. Christopher Lloyd. Christopher, how are we doing?
I'm doing good. Great introduction.
Jessica Alba and Lizzie Mathis. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Kevin Costner joins us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Television.
Jimmy Fallon joins us this morning. Jimmy, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning. Thank you so much, Brad, for having me. I appreciate this, bud.
Kelly Ripa.
Brad, thank you for having me.
Comedy.
Jay Leno joins us. Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Brad, what's going on?
Chris Tucker is in the building. Chris Tucker, good morning to you.
Hey, Brad. Good morning to you. How are you?
George Lopez joins us right now. George, how are you doing, sir?
Good morning.
Music.
Lola Monroe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The legendary frontman of AC/DC, Brian Johnson, joins us right now. Brian, how you doing?
Good morning, Brad. What lovely to talk to me, funny lad.
Megan Trainor.
Thank you so much, Brad. You're awesome.
Chloe Bailey joins us. I appreciate the time.
Appreciate you.
And more. This is The Collection. Now your host, The Boat.
Brad Gilmore!
And he's joining me right now to talk the new show that is quite literally Hysteria all around on Peacock right now. Mr. Bruce Campbell joins us this morning. They use the term icon with your introduction a lot, and I agree with that. The icon, Bruce Campbell.
You know, those are your words. Those are not mine. I prefer working actor. I'll take that.
Working actor is right. Look, this show, Hysteria, is so much fun. And I love that, look, when you see maybe a trailer or a snippet from it, you think it's one thing. But when you watch the show, it really envelops you in this world. And I've heard you talk about how you are hesitant about taking on a horror project, given everything that you've done in your career. Sometimes you're hesitant about it. What was the difference for you here? Was it the script? Was it the story? What attracted you?
Well, it's always going to be the script. As a geezer, I now know that the most important single thing in any project in the motion picture arts is the script. And they got me with the premise. I thought 80s rural Michigan, you know, I used to vacation in small towns in Michigan. I'm from Michigan. And in the 80s, that's where you want to throw a satanic panic. So I thought that was a pretty good premise. And in the 80s, you don't have cell phones. No one's texting. You're using pay phones. The cars are all boxy and have leaded gas. And, you know, I mean, it's really a fascinating time period. So that's what got me. And my character was much more of a two-dimensional character. He wasn't just my way or the highway. A lot of cops are written like that. Then you go home and beat your wife. You know, this is a guy who listens to teenagers. Like, hey, what's your problem? Is this real? Is this not? He doesn't falsely accuse people, and he's not brutal. So I don't know. It's a fun part.
Well, yeah, I think that you're right when you talk about Chief Dandridge, and that's what stuck out to me is he's not, especially when you think of, okay, it's the 80s. We're going to have an 80s cop here in this small town during all this stuff. It is going to be very one note like you might see. But not only does he listen to them, he treats the kids with respect. He takes them at their word. And he really wants to see, look at what's real and what's not here. Because you're right. In 2024, someone's going to have it on this. We're going to see a picture. We're going to see a video. All the evidence is going to be kind of contained within that. But he has to really use his cop instincts. And it's more than just like that one note.
The problem is it goes beyond his cop instincts. And that's where the fun is with this show. That, hey, this might be real. Because weird stuff is happening to him, too. As the chief of frickin' police, you know, these shouldn't be happening to the head dude. And so it really shakes his foundation, which is good because if you scare a cop, theoretically, that's scary. Cops don't rattle easily, but this town is facing something it has never seen before. And I think if I live in a small town in Oregon, I think to myself, what if we had a satanic panic here? we'd be in trouble, man. We couldn't handle it.
And for people who might not remember during that time in the 1980s, you're talking, I think things were a little bit different back then, just even in film, even in the culture. It was, Ronald Reagan. It was Good and Bad. It was War on Drugs. It was Yes Sir, No Ma'am. The Satanic Panic, if you can kind of put people back into that, what that really meant.
I think it's a pushback. I think people go, oh, you want me to be like this? Well, I'm going to be like this. And, music really took it on the chin because music is rebellious in its nature. From Johnny Cash was rebellious, music is rebellious. And so I think it was kids going, oh, yeah, well, I'm going to AC/DC, Antichrist, Devil's Child, Kiss, Knights in Satan's Service. Yeah, look at us with the big tongues and they look scary. So if I was of a persuasion where I was very concerned about the devil, that would concern me greatly. And it did for a while. And kind of weird that I don't know that anyone can find the spark of it. When did it happen? When was the first sighting? When was the first satanic ritual discovered? And they found out years later through all these court cases, it was smoke and mirrors. There wasn't any more than what normally happens. And there's always a certain amount of creepy society that does creepy stuff, but there was no special blip during that Satanic Panic.
Yeah,
it just got a lot of press,
from back in the day. And I remember, and every kid too. Everyone had the record. I remember my friend's dad had the record. It's like, oh, if you play Dark Side backwards, you hear a message or whatever it is, right? Everybody goes through this. I heard you tell a story, early on in your career, first television role on Knots Landing. You're doing one take, the lighting isn't there. No one's really guiding you and walking you through how to do this. But now here you find yourself a veteran of the stage and screen, and you are working with these young people. Do you go up to them and give them any little small tools of the trade at all? Or do they come to you and seek advice? And how do you feel about kind of being in that position?
Every actor is different. Modern actors, they're pretty good. This cast is wonderful. The teens are all great and really fun. And they're all the synapses are firing. They can memorize their lines if they wanted to. So I try and just be an example. Just get there when they ask you to get there and know your lines. Have a plan. Have a clue. Try and be pleasant in your day, and let's get out of here. Let's not make a big federal case out of this. So it's just that I try and be lean in my work and try and turn in what I call good dailies. Even if it's over your shoulder, try and be as good as you were in the close up. It's just work ethic. It's like anything. You can't be a bum at what you do. You got to show up. You got to wear a tie. You got to sit up in your chair. So it's that, but it's a fun cast, and I think they like to be there. And a lot of them learned the whole music thing. I couldn't do that. I did a couple of roles where I played a country western dude, and I never picked up a guitar or anything. And actors are supposed to.
Right. Yeah. You're playing it like you know what you're doing. But you know what, Bruce? You do know what you're doing. You've given us so many great roles over the years. I'm a huge fan of yours, and Burn Notice especially was one of my favorite shows. So thank you so much for taking the time this morning. Congratulations on Hysteria. I hope everybody watches it and enjoys it.
Thank you. Here's to season 2, where we finally figure out what's going on.
Hey, we got to figure it out. Bruce. Season 2, season 20. I want to see it all. But thanks again for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Appreciate it.